what we did, I just hold on. Okay, so last time we discussed, in last class we discussed components of .NET framework, and these are the frameworks of .NET, like CLR, .NET Framework Class Library, CLS, CTS, metadata and assemblies, then ASP.NET and AJAX, ADO.NET, and WCF, Link, and whatever, WPF, Windows Presentation Foundation. Generally, WPF means Windows Presentation Foundation, WCF means Windows Communication Foundation. So I'm giving you a bit idea about what is ASP.NET, and ASP.NET, like you can understand from here, like it is technology which works on .NET platform or framework. Okay, and that it contains all web related features and functionality. And the next means, this is what we can say, like this is what we can say, like it's an ASP .NET. And the next is means, what is .NET? .NET, it is a framework. It is framework is made up of object oriented. You know that what is object oriented? Yeah, yeah, like classes and objects. Next, ASP.NET web application is made up of web pages. When a user request means, whenever the user means browser request or to ASP.NET page, there is a one associated server included. Like in 2010, there is a one inbuilt server. It comes with comes with the Visual Studio itself, and that is what the name is IIS. Generally, IIS is a web server. Okay, IIS process the sorry uh, IIS process the pages to ASP.NET runtime system. Like you can understand here what is ASP.NET. ASP.NET is nothing but it's a web application, simple. Or web application is what it's made up of web pages, and how web pages are processed. Web pages are processed by using the IIS server. So this is, we can say, this is one of the server available with the Visual Studio, integrated server that comes along with the Visual Studio. And this server is have the ability to process the web pages. Okay, man. Yeah, so uh, let's move to some now I think you understand what is ASP.NET. ASP.NET means it is a technology or web related features and functionalities. And web application, it is made up of web pages, and it is when the user requests to some page. Here in this diagram you can say, like this is, we can say, like IIS server. Okay, IIS, yeah, IIS server that process the ASP pages and responds to client, and response might have HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or text, whatever. and because browser has the capability to process all these things. You understand what I mean? Okay. I told you some components of a .NET Framework 3.5 and 4.0, both containing components like this. So I'm just going to start with a very important concept, that is what is a common language runtime. So here you can understand like that a CLR is similar to a JVM in a Java. Okay, CLR is a similar, or it's a component that is a similar to a JVM in Java. You know that what is a JVM performs in Java, like automatic garbage collection, libraries are also available, and in it also act as an interpreter to execute the program. So here also CLR performs in a same way like a JVM. So CLR means like common language runtime, or generally we say that a CLR, and it's very important. Like CR performs functions like, I'm writing here so it's easy for you to understand. Memory management, yeah. So memory management is done by a CLR in ASP, or like say we can say in a .NET framework. Exception handling, okay man. Debugging, security features, security checking, thread execution, code execution, verification, and compilation. So these are the tasks performed by a CLR itself. I'm writing here so it's easy to understand for you to like you know that those codes are directly managed by the CLR, are called managed code, because there is a inbuilt component named CLR that manages the code, directly managed the code. It is called a managed code. And whenever the managed code is compiled, the compiler converts the source code into a CPU independent intermediate language. IL code, generally we say it intermediate language. Yeah, these are the different type of code, and if the these codes are directly managed by CLR, means common language runtime, we call it a managed code. And whenever the managed code is compiled, the compiler converts the source code into a CPU independent intermediate code. Means there is also an intermediate code in like in Java there is a code like a byte code, here intermediate language code. You understand me? Yeah. So in Java, if you the similar way like JVM works, in a same way a CLR works, and it is the most important component. Rest is a little bit if you do not study, even it will work for you. Okay. Yeah. So so this is what like uh, CLR, and we can say like it is just in time compilation, just in time. JIT stands for just in time. Over there in Java also there is a one compiler name, just in time, which is responsible for, which generates the which generates the IL code. IL means intermediate code into native code, which is a machine dependent, or like say we can say a CPU specific to a CPU. So this is what we can say, like a CLR. CLR means we have a different functions like memory management, exception handling, debugging, and up to A to G. All these functions are managed by a CLR. And if these codes are managed directly by CLR, we can say it's a managed code. And wherever the managed code is compiled, the compiler converts that source code into an intermediate language code like a bytecode, and then JIT comes into existence, which generates the native machine code. Native machine means that is specific to a machine, and or which is machine dependent, and like in this way it works.